The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CJ Automotive 200 at the crossroads of Long Pond and Andretti. Welcome to Pocono Raceway. This is round 23 of the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series, and you're going to see all 80 laps unfold live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Sean Ambrose, and alongside me in the booth tonight is Justin Prince. Behind the scenes, we have our director Amjad Yaman, twisting and tweaking the dials, and our camera sets, as always, are provided the much sought-after, very private Dougie Beard. Welcome to the green wooded hills and valleys of the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, home to the Tricky Triangle. Justin, welcome back. Just set us up tonight, buddy.
Thank you very much, Sean. We are here, like you mentioned, at beautiful Pocono Raceway, which since 1971 has been hosting auto racing and NASCAR since 1974. This 2.5-mile, three-turn circuit is a very unique track, as all turns and the straightaways are different lengths, bankings, and angles. They are actually also named after famous Indy tracks: Turn 1 after Trenton, Turn 2 Indianapolis, and Turn 3 the Milwaukee Mile. Now, of course, the track is set to a 60% state with 100% fuel for today, and we have a fairly cool track for today, about 88 degrees with 79 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy skies. To help explain what to expect here on this beautiful track, let's head to your GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yasek. This is the Pocono Raceway and this is the GSRC Chevrolet SS. Pocono is known as the Tricky Triangle, and it sure is a tricky track to try to master. So with that being said, here we come off of Turn 3, no Turn 4 here at Pocono. Down the long front stretch, about wide enough for 7 or 8 cars. I don't know if you'll see that in the race today, but it very well could happen. Down into Turn 1, ease it in there just a little bit. You're going to want to find that seam right there on the track and kind of try to hook it between the tires straight off of the throttle. You actually also might see guys shift off of the corner as well to try to get just a little extra oomph off of the corner. Turn 2, setting it up for your entry. Back down. It's a fast sweeping left-hander. Can't get back into the gas too quick or the car will get loose just like it did right there for me. Now down into Turn 3. The turn that feels like it never ends. This is where you're probably going to see a lot of guys downshift to get down here to this rumble strip patch right there, straight off of the corner, a little bit of wheel spin, right out to the wall, grab fourth gear, and down the front stretch. Now, Pocono is modeled after 3 tracks that make up its 3 corners. So Turn 1 right here is based off of the old Trenton Raceway in Trenton, New Jersey. You also might see guys run right through here as the tires kind of wear out, try to get a straighter shot off of Turn 1 down the Long Pond straightaway. Turn 2 has a lot of similarities to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in all of its corners. It's a very fast left-hander, not a whole lot of banking, and it can really throw you for a loop because you have to watch the tire spin off of that. Also known as the tunnel turn, because the tunnel to the inside of the track runs right underneath that. Turn 3 based off of Milwaukee, so it's a long, sweeping left-hander. Feels like it's never going to quite get over with. You also might see guys run up in that gray strip of pavement right there. But down the front stretch once more, try to hold off everybody trying to race you 4, 5, 6, and 7 wide, and that will complete your lap guide around the Pocono Raceway. I'm Brian Yazik. This was the GSRC Chevrolet SS.
And race fans, that's how you get around Pocono Raceway. Not immediately. It takes a little bit to get around this 2.5-mile track. Let's talk to Nick Cohan right now, sitting second in the overall points right now. Won a couple races this season. Nick, how do you like your chances here at Pocono tonight?
I think was confident during the week in practice here. Not feeling too good, but it's a long race and it's a hard track to manage, so a lot of strategy comes into play. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we got the CJ Automotive Toyota Camry tuned up good here tonight, but just need to play the right strategy and see what we can do here at the end.
And you're the man responsible for bringing CJ Automotive on for tonight's race in the CJ Automotive 200. Tell us a little bit about your sponsor.
CJ Automotive is my dad's business. He's been in business since 1972, selling used cars and trucks in Penargil, Pennsylvania, not far from Pocono Raceway, about 25 minutes. So. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, that's the little gist of it. He's been doing it since 1972, like I said. So he's been doing something right.
All right. Well, big shout out to CJ Automotive. Certainly glad to have him on track this evening. Nick, I don't know if you saw my thoughts from the woodshed today, but I said it was time to break the string here a bit. Ward and Yazik have both got 4 wins. You and Harden have both got 2. I don't think someone's not going to be tied up by the end of the night. You look to break that, maybe get 3 in the column tonight.
I sure hope so. This is like my my Daytona 500 for it's my favorite track, my closest track, and I just think it's such a unique, fun track. It's got 3 totally different corners. The cars never handle good here, and especially what we have in iRacing here is the old Pocono, so which I personally like anyway because it's more challenging. It's very bouncy, and there's different. You got the grip patch in turn 3 that you can use the outside, and it seems like you can actually use multiple lanes in turn 1 and 3, so it makes it pretty fun. Turn 2 is just a real tricky corner that you got to be as close as you can to that rumble strip there without touching it, and if you touch it, it makes it really, really loose and really, really hard to get off the corner because that wall really, really comes out at you quick.
Well, Nick, I see practice is wrapping up. I'm going to let you go. One last question. Is your dad watching tonight?
Oh, he watches everyone, so yeah, he's definitely watching this
Nice.
one.
All right, well, shout out to, what's your dad's name?
Charlie.
All right, well, CJ. Okay, all right. CJ, Charlie, hey, buddy. Big shout out to your boy here, Nick. He's going to try and go out and knock down a victory tonight, Nick. Go get him. We hope to really talk to you here at the end of the race. All right, man?
Yep, I hope to talk to you guys later, too.
All right, and that is Nick Cohan, driver of the number 21, the CJ Automotive, number 21 Toyota this evening, and appreciate him coming in, talking to us, and Justin, definitely a contender for this race. But I'll tell you what, let's get to the points here real quick. Why don't you take the overall season standings for us here real quick?
Yes, sir. As you can tell, Cohan is just 19 points back of our current points leader, Brian Yazik. As Yazik looks to try and hold off Cohan, Tommy Ryan is currently in 3rd spot in the points, followed by Thomas George. He's 100 points back, while Ricky Harden rounds out the top 5, 120 points back. Just 9 points behind him is Tyler Dalton in the 19 machine. James Kurhula, 132 points back of Yazik, is in 7th. Tim Johnston is 149 points back. Drew Carroll is in 9th spot, while Rhett McBride rounds out your top 10. A solid top 10 overall, and we should see just about all of them contending here at Pocono today.
All right, now let's look at the summer segment standings because this is the penultimate round tonight, okay? And we'll wrap things up at Watkins Glen for the summer session And right now, Yazik is in command of that. But man, there sits Nick Cohan, just 23 points behind. Certainly, with 2 races left to go here, good chance for him with a great run tonight. And maybe a little bad luck for Yazik. He can maybe leapfrog him. Thomas George, not too far out of it, sitting back there in 3rd. Jeff Ward still climbing that ladder there in 4th. Tommy Ryan, James Corula, Ricky Harden, all these guys really knotted up. It's a very, very tight chase here in the summer standings. John Wilco looking there on the outside, kind of with 149 backs from Yazik. But again, with these 2 races left leading up to the end of this summer session, a lot at stake here and positions to be had, because it is a tight chase there within that top 10.
Yeah, indeed, because you have a lot of different contenders, as you've seen in both of those standings, like you explained. And we're seeing some different drivers rising up in these summer standings, like Jeff Ward, for example, is having a 3-win racing win streak, I should say, coming into today's race, for example. You've seen him rising up. You're seeing as well a chance for newcomers to gain some nice points recognition, like Nicholas Caldwell, who's you're seeing here. He's taking part in his first ever race in the PRL this season. So there's still a lot to be up for grabs, though, as you've seen, because Yazik still is just holding a 19-point lead. Anything can happen still with as we finish up the summer.
And we have started qualifying. They do get 2 laps. It's a 10-minute qualifying session. They get a chance to throw down 2 laps. It is a solo session, 1 car on track here. Now, they don't get any fast repairs here in the Premier Racing League, and so that means taking care of this car tonight, so important. This is going to be a long race, 80 laps. You're in for a ride. There's Tyler Dalton. You know, there's a guy that's always up near the front, and certainly a win is out there for Tyler. He just needs a little bit of luck, and I really think there's a premium on qualifying here tonight. The clean air is really the place you want to be on this track, because if you're fighting in the dirty air, that means push. The walls come up quick. Yeah, it's a very wide track, but the push is real, and if you miss that corner entry, you're going to pay severely up top there near that safer barrier, aren't you?
Yes, indeed. We were discussing this with Nick Cohan, actually, involving that as Don Runkle Jr. slams the wall out of 2, as that is some bad luck there. That also kind of summarizes what to expect with this track. You're either going to be good in 1 and 3 or good in 2, where if you mess up 1 corner like you do with 2, like you've seen Runkle Jr., you're going to have a ton of damage coming out of that turn on that hard wall. You also, like we mentioned or discussed with Cohen, if you hit the rumble strips on the bottoms of 1 and 3, you'll end up popping up the track and bumping into a car or smacking your car against the safer barrier, because it ends up coming and biting you out of that turn, the wall, I should say. So you want to keep your car off the wall. You want to keep your car basically clean for much of the race. And as you mentioned, make sure you get up to the front with some good qualifying times and good speed overall, so you have that clean air.
And on screen there's the Fred J. Moyer Plumbing Chevrolet, driven by former commentator, now driver, Chris Scala out there. And now there's Nick Cohan and that CJ Automotive Toyota special scheme he's running tonight. Loud Pedal Motorsports driver looking for getting in a good lap. He's on his out lap now. No, I'm sorry, he's got 1 lap in. Currently sitting 8th. He's digging for that 2nd lap now. Let's see where Cohan falls here as he gets around. And he goes across the line. That gets him up to P6. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Gregory McDougall right now sits provisionally there at the top with about 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah,
actually, just not a lot of cars actually on track right this second. There's Justin Rodden looking for his lap. Just got his 2nd one across, and that was 20th. Good enough for 20th.
and that is the slowest time overall at 53.8. That's 4/10 behind Randy Yoakum, who's 19th. And then we still have a lot of cars that can go on the track. We have 34 registered for tonight, a very large field filled with different contenders, and one of those contenders is someone that's a familiar name for the series, Scott Eckeridge. your all-time leader for the Patriot Fire Cup Series.
Yeah, Eckrich is back tonight. I'm glad you brought that up because he is here. He's going to take a run at this thing, and it's like we were talking about it in the pre-race there, Justin. Anytime Scott Eckrich shows up, he's certainly a favorite to win a race, and he's going to need a little help tonight. He doesn't have a qualifying lap in yet. He needs to get one in because, again, I really think the key to having a good run here tonight is trying to put yourself up near the front somewhere to start this race and avoid any possible carnage behind you. This is a long one tonight, 80 laps. We're looking at a fuel window, maybe somewhere about 35 to 37 laps. I think you're probably going to need at least 2 pit stops to get this race done, unless you get some help from the cautions and you try and play the long game on the strategy. So we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly there may be a few out there that want to try and play that long game, but I think you're going to need tires to really have an efficient, fast run tonight.
I agree with you with the tires because we were discussing this with Brian Yazik as well, was that fuel cycle. He's estimating about lap 37, lap 38 for fuel. Some drivers might split it up for 40 laps and 40 laps. But then again, your tires will also be dead by lap 40 and lap 80. So you'll probably see a lot of drivers go 33, 66, and then go with the longest run for the final stint of the race. So that is going to be probably the main strategy, really. You're going to see a lot of drivers probably coming in on lap 40 or 60 or 33 or 66 or whatever, around that ballpark as the race goes on.
Well, they are doing their drivers' meeting now. I think we've got Tommy Ryan's out there. Scott Eckrich is still out there taking their qualifying times. And Eckrich trying to set the standard that everyone is measured by here. Let's see where he comes across. He's on his second lap now, actually. He completed one, did not register a time. So it's going to be one flyer here for Eckrich. Can he make it count? Ooh, look at that. Wow. One flying lap for Scott Eckrich, and that is good enough for the pole. That is our MP3 Designs Pole Award winner, Scott Eckrich. Let's take a ride on board with him here, Justin, as we cover this lap, man. Eckrich with just a screaming line here, right up next against the wall, heading down into 1. He's going to drop it into the center of the track and then right down above those rumble strips there that you talked about. Keeping it just off of those, Justin, setting himself up for the long run down this backstretch.
Yeah, perfectly timed lap, really. He had everything hit to precision, how he was timing it out with the exits, how the entrances are, as you're seeing, making sure he exited just fine enough to not bounce off the wall, which, based on the incident points reports, might have been what happened on that first lap. But he ends up having the perfect lap, and it's about more than a tenth faster than the top time overall, really. So, what a way to set a blazing time.
Yeah, so Eckrich gets that MP3 Pole Awards, MP3 Designs Pole Award tonight with a blazing fast lap. I mean, that really, again, set the standard for which this field is going to have to deal with tonight. Gregory McDougall also with a great lap of 52.2. Just literally a tenth of a second off from Eckrich there. McDougall looking awful fast here at Pocono. I made my trip to the woodshed today, though, and I really, really think Nick Cohan is the driver to break this streak tonight here. And I think got to look to Cohan here maybe to get this win tonight here, Justin.
We'll have to see, because Cohan is a strong favorite for tonight, but of course, one of my air favorites is Jeff Ward, because not just because of the winning streak, but because as well, he, in the past few races, in the truck race and in the National Series, which is their equivalent of the Xfinity Series, he finished in second both of those races. He will not want to finish second again tonight. He will be hungry for the victory. As well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Eckeridge in victory lane as Sean?
All right, Justin, we're going to head trackside for our national anthem real quick. All right, and now it is time to get started here in the CJ Automotive 200 from Pocono Raceway. Get your starting order on screen now here and read through the grid. Scott Eckrich, your big pole sitter this week. Gregory McDougall, rounding out that front row. Justin.
Tommy Ryan starts on the inside of row 2. He'll start alongside your points leader, Brian Yazik.
Brett McBride and Drew Carroll will take row 3 tonight.
And in row 4, Woodrow Mahan starts alongside your second place points runner, as well as your title sponsor runner, Nick Cohan.
Row 5 going to be Troy Haight and Tyler Dalton tonight.
And getting us to our next dozen, Ricky Harden and Travis McQuiston start off in row 6.
Row 7, Thomas George and Chris Scholar, old buddy there.
Jonathan Lawrence starts behind them in row 8 alongside Joshua King.
Row 9, Norman Pelletier and Devin Cannon back in the 83 this week.
Don Runkle Jr. starts off row 10 alongside James Krahula.
Wow, not a great quality there for James. Randy Yoakum and Justin Rodden right down there in row 11.
And a few drivers who do not turn in time starting off in row 12. Jeff Ward and Paul Pepper both have ELO penalties, though they'll be shifting from their spots.
Okay. Row 13, Rick Thompson, Brad Collins.
Rich Jetty and Andrew Jones in row 14.
All right, row 15, Derek Paulson and newcomer Nicholas Caldwell making his debut this evening here in the Premier Racing League.
Calvin Peworski as well as Gerald Livingston will be in the second to last row.
And the last row, 17 rows this evening, John Wilco back in that 62 and Stephen Herring in the number 98, the Carolina driver, will start 34th tonight as we make our way around a very, very long track, 2.5 miles, and it is a doozy. But Ford Mustang pace car, the lights are off, getting ready to peel off this track here right at the end of the pit lane. We get set up, and it's green, and we are away in the CJ Automotive 200. Scott Eckrich on the hammer across the line, down in the one. He's got a clean all by himself. Big battle back here between McDougall, Ryan, and Yazik. All looking for that real estate in one. Almost taking it 3 wide. Oh, what the wall there? Oh, boy.
And that was Rhett McBride getting bumped up, and we got more cars getting collected in Trenton still.
Oh, boy. Big, big mess. Big, big mess there.
Yeah, let's take a look at the GSRC replay with that. McBride ended up going up the track, slamming up into Carroll, I believe that was, and then calamity strikes. Cars having to go 4 wide to avoid everything going in front. Some of those cars were ones who did not turn qualifying laps, who were probably hoping to miss that kind of incident, but instead the strategy backfires, as that is just some bad luck there.
Yeah, and that was all about the checkup right there, man. cars starting getting checked up behind that, and then the melee just opens up. On board with Thomas George right here. You see, George is going to squeeze through this. It's all going to unfold right in front of him. And he just gets down on the bottom there through the grass and just misses it. Great job by Thomas George of avoiding that. But a lot of carnage early. He's got a couple cars in the pit lane already. Randy Yoakum, Stephen Herring. Several cars with damage. Nicholas Caldwell in the pit. Drew Carroll now coming in.
Man, this is just... I don't think this was what anyone's expecting as you're seeing Don Runkle Jr.'s view of this. He got fairly lucky here. He got to just stop and start rolling with everything. Didn't really get anything involved in that one, luckily for him.
Yeah, and boy, Rhett McBride just really had trouble getting started there, Justin. I don't want to harp on it, but he has trouble getting started there, runs up the track, gets into the 87 there, Drew Carroll, and again, what happened behind that was just a culmination of guys checking up and trying to avoid what was unfolding in front of them. And let's say the accordion was out and there was a little polka music on because everybody was all over the dance floor there. And now that is going to have to reset this race here with some damaged cars. And boy, this is a track you really don't want to have to try and get around with some aero damage on a downforce. So important here in these tricky, in the tricky triangle.
Yeah, because any kind of aerodynamic damage, of course, in any situation will cost you speed. And like you said, this is going to be very costly. A few cars going with the pit strategy game who are not involved in that crash, though. Some of them, including Ricky Harden, it looks like. A few different cars looking to get tires already after just one lap.
Well, we get restarted, and this thing goes green, we don't see another caution flag. You could be one of those drivers by coming in right now who could possibly finish this race in one stop with a little help here from the caution flag. So we'll see if that worked out. That's playing the very long game early. Right now, Eckridge is still going to get a chance to restart this race as your leader. Not much movement in your top four. Nick Cohan will restart in fifth, already up 3 spots. Your other big movers is actually Andrew Jones, a car who managed to get up about 10 spots actually from where he started as he got through that carnage. So few drivers moving up through the field, but really the big concern is for all the guys that are in the pit right now, still trying to get repair on their machines. Going to be a very, very long night for what I'm looking at right now is probably 7 to 8 cars.
Yeah, most of them are starting to roll out as the pace car is in about turn 3. Stephen Herring looks like he might have to stick in. Derek Paulson, Travis McQuiston, of course, Rhett McBride. Calvin Filorsky, as you saw, also got a ton of damage from that with the head-on collision. He's come out of the pits from his repairs. But, man, just a chance to reset, essentially, for a lot of drivers as we're going to have to get ready for one to green, I believe, right as they come along to the start and finish line.
Yeah, and a couple of casualties from that. Randy Yoakum has taken his car behind the wall, and so is Nicholas Caldwell. Unfortunately, his debut did not work out very well this evening, and you know what? That's all right, Nicholas. Keep slugging away, buddy. Don't give up. Sometimes those debuts just don't work out, man. All right, so we've still got the lights out, or the lights on the pace car here.
Yeah,
the lights are on. Why don't we step away for a quick break here, and we'll get reset and ready to go here for the restart of this race. We'll just call it a total redo when we come back here on the Global Sim Racing channel. You are looking live here on the Global Sim Racing channel on a Thursday evening here with the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup, the CJ Automotive 200, getting ready to restart this race after just a couple of we really didn't even get the first full lap in, but we're about to get it in now. Scott Eckrich going to lead him down with Gregory McDougall here on this front row. This is going to be a great start. They're coming through the short chute now, making their way out of into turn 3, getting ready to do this again. Tommy Ryan, Brian Yazik right there on that second row, ready to go. Nick Cohan, Woodrow Mahan right behind him. And this Ford Mustang pace car pulling out of turn 3 now. It's going to pull down, and I expect to see Eckrich just go for it here on this green flag, and he absolutely does. On the hammer, look at McDougall there falling into the clutches. They're looking 3 wide. Cohan trying to do it. Oh, baby. Tommy Ryan's the meat. George McDougall up on the top side. 3 wide through turn 1. Oh, boy. Hang on, fellas. Hang on. Oh, McDougall up there. He holds on to it. Boy, what a great run through turn 1 for them. But Eckrich gets out to the early lead. 0.6 of a second ahead already.
A great run. As you can see, they go back to 2 wide. You don't want to go 3 wide through turn 2, that's for sure. Eckrich with that clean air is seeing exactly what he wants to see. Cars battling 2 wide. That's how he's going to be able to pull away here.
Boy, oh, there's Woodrow Mahan. Here comes the blue bullet. You see him there in the number 12, right there on the inside of Tyler Dalton.
Yeah, he's starting to make a push through the field. He started off in 7th. He's trying to steal position here from Tyler
Dalton. Running up on Dalton there. Oh, that was close. Man, Eckrich already just over a second ahead. Really dialed in here early. Digging. Cohan with a run on Tommy Ryan. Looks down to the inside, heading through turn 3. Cohan getting up to second already. Wow. Digging. Tommy Ryan going to try and cross him over here on the exit? No, he's going to slide in behind. Work a little draft here with Cohan. They got to go catch Eckrich.
Looks like he might actually try and bump draft a little bit. He's going to back off. McDougall's going to have to check up a little bit. They go single file into the turn. Ryan sliding up. McDougall might try and go for the pass. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, McDougall looking to the inside of here. Tommy Ryan as they head on down to turn 2. He's going to back at him. He's going to keep it in there. No, he's going to go deep. Sending it down there in turn 2. Ryan stuck up in a really precarious spot there as Brian Yazik makes his way through. Here comes Yazik, starting to turn up the wick just a bit. McDougall, the clear winner in that battle here temporarily. Watch out, Tyler Dalton back there lurking. McDougall breaking that draft on Yazik.
Now you can see right now Ryan's trying to work on the draft with Yazik, and he's going to have to try and hold off Dalton again, taking the higher lane again through 1. He's doing a bit of a different entrance and exit strategy compared to some of the other drivers, and compared to how things are going at the start here, it is costing him time because Dalton is right at this back door.
Yeah, Dalton's car starting to come to him here just a bit, up 4 spots into 6, and Tommy Ryan right in his sights. Go back a little bit further. You've got a really, really hard charging James Carula sitting there in 12th right now. He had picked up a couple spots and then slid back a little bit. I think James digging a little bit too hard here early. He's up 8 spots.
Yeah, you don't want to dig too much early off. Apologize there for once again, Sean. But you don't want to burn your tires like he is essentially doing, like you mentioned. If he goes too fast and ends up burning those tires out, he's going to lose a ton of positions by lap 10. Once lap 10, I should say, crosses by.
Yeah, look at this battle here. Paul Pepper, Chris Scala Pepper trying to get around. Pepper's actually already up 13 spots. He's in 11th, trying to take this 10th spot away from Scala. Pepper's got the blue oval there, the outliers. Ford working. Oh, he gets a little wicked there off of turn 2. The rear end stepped out just a bit on Paul. He's going to dive it back down in there. Has he got something for Scala here? Not yet. He's going to slide it behind, ride the draft down the front straight. Just up in front of them, Thomas George and Troy Haight going side by side here. Scala going to stay up top, maybe try to split the middle here. Pepper all over him. Scala going to make almost face contact there with the 82 at Troy Haight. He backed out of it. Now he's into the wall. Paul Pepper gets Scala. Pepper around. Oh! And the caution flag's out. Big wreck. Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happened there. You can see Scala gone to the back of, it looks like the car in front of them right there. Then he ended up taking the 29 of Pepper. Then he slowed down thinking, oh, I'm clear, and then just gets run over by Rick Thompson. Bring out the big one.
Yeah, it's good. Let's go on board here with Paul Pepper, and that's where he gets clipped by Scala. Pepper trying to drive in his line there. Scala was obviously off the power. The car was a little bit loose, and he gets Pepper there. Let's look at Rick Thompson's view, because Thompson is going to be kind of an innocent victim here. He's got nowhere to go. Scala coming across the track. You'll see at the track where that incident, you'll see the smoke, and you'll see here Rick doesn't have anywhere to go. He gets Scala there, and man, that sends his car over. Heavy damage on the American Pool Supply Ford this evening. Oh boy, that's going to take a moment to sort out for sure. We got a lot better run going there, but unfortunately it wasn't long enough, and a lot of cars struggling still to get back to the pit as they come around. Scott Eckridge still your leader. Nick Cohan all the way up to second. There's some good battling going on up front there. Some decisions to be made, though, now as we come around turn 3. I expect you're going to see this field come on down, and let's get some fresh rubber and top off while we're at it, boys.
You think? That's obviously what they're probably going to do here. I mean, this is the right time to do that. Here along they come. Yeah, and just about everybody's coming down here as expected here. One car is, of course, out there still. That is currently Devin Cannon. He had missed the starts. He's 3 laps down, but everybody coming into the pits here.
Yeah, Cannon will stay out. And we'll see here. That may or may not lead him or give him the lucky dog. Like I said, we'll see here in a moment.
And something interesting, I think, just happened. Travis McQuiston is the first person out of the pits, out of the whole group, it looks like. So he might come away with the lead right into the restart. Correct me if I'm wrong. Eckridge in second.
He did not take service. He did not take service.
I apologize for that there.
He missed his stall. Now, he's got a decision to make here. He didn't have to come back in. He's got fuel. He's got tires. Now, they're not new tires. He could decide to stay out. But I think we're in line for a lucky dog here. And that's going to be Mr. Drew Carroll this evening in the Coastal Safety Auditors. Lucky dog. There's Brutus behind the wheel and ready to go. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Brutus taking us around here with Drew Carroll. Drew going to get a lap back into this race here.
And we got trouble on the pace lap. Scott Eckridge has spun out during the pace lap here.
Okay, well, let's try and determine what happened here to Mr. Eckridge. Wow. know the drivers are talking about. I don't know if there's mechanical failure there or something, but everybody getting by cleanly on board with Eckrich here.
Yeah, something has to have happened if he decided to stop dead in the track like that and pull out. He has towed his car. Something is going on with Eckrich. We hope that it isn't something significantly bad. But yeah,
Wow.
that's gonna change.
From the lead to the loft, man. I mean, it's just that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Obviously, taking that tow, that's going to cost him a lot of time. Certainly has a chance here to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, with that though, Nicholas Cohan will move into the lead, and I think this just became a whole new ball game, my friend.
All right. Well, man, I don't know. I can't call it. Nick Cohan is on the safe. Well, he was just playing around there on the safety road. I thought he was setting up to maybe go back in the pit. Just playing around down there.
Maybe trying to conserve some fuel a little bit too, holding in the clutch. Who knows? Trying to play a strategy, but mostly just going down there for why not. But yeah, I'm still kind of stunned about what happened, to be honest, with Eckrich. Just this completely changed the dynamic of the race. It could be anyone's race now.
Still not getting any feedback here on what might or might not have happened to Scott Eckrich there. He's still in the pit. 2 minutes now. They're coming around, about to put him a lap down.
Yeah, and they're coming to green here next time by. It looks like as Cannon will take a wave around, as he did get the Coastal Safety Outers lucky dog. So with that, what do you do if you're a driver here? Is going to be what drivers are thinking right now. What should I do strategy-wise? Because this changes how things are going. You were expecting to try and catch up to Eckrich, a rocket ship, and now you have Gregory McDougall and Cohan on the front row. Two drivers who were neck and neck, really, for much of the race. I don't know what you really do here other than say this is any man's race.
Well, Eckrich is back on track. I'm happy to report he does make it back out. Okay, so we're hearing somehow Scott managed to unplug his pedals with his feet while he was driving there. So, tough deal for him. Let's get ready to reset this race, though, here as we head into turn 2. Nick Cohan, your leader, or I'm sorry, Gregory McDougall will restart. He chooses the outside, your leader. McDougall going to start from the outside, and Nick Cohan going to start down on the bottom. So we'll see if there's any advantage here going into 1 from that top side with Gregory McDougall. Brian Yazik, Tommy Ryan going to reset it behind them. And then row 3 is going to be Tyler Dalton, Justin Rodden. As we get started, Jeff Ward with a great pit stop there. Gets himself now up to 7th place. He's up 16 spots. Watch out. Ward is here for the party. And the Ford Mustang is too, because it's getting ready to peel off. The lights are out. And all eyes on Gregory McDougall and Nick Cohan to get this restarted. And it's Cohan with the big jump as we get started. McDougall again, slow on another restart. Brian Yazik follows Nick Cohan down into 1, right on his tail. Up top there, though, you got McDougall, Tommy Ryan locked up. They spread apart now, and it's Cohan with the great jump through 1. Yazik already starting to pull him here. Yazik gets it all the way up to the wall. Gets a nice run at him here, heading down this long back stretch. Maybe going to get enough here to drop a wheel in and get around. Yazik going to back out of it and let him go. The fight is real behind him, though. Tommy Ryan still trying to get that spot there for McDougall. Finally clears him out of turn 2 in the short chute. Behind them, you've got Tyler Dalton, Thomas George fighting side by side. We come around to complete this lap. It's going to be Nick Cohan leading Brian Yazik here to start lap 17 at 80 here tonight, the CJ Automotive 200.
And things are starting to settle down a bit as, correct me there, because Ryan just got passed 3 wide by Dalton and Thomas George. A lot of passes going on in 3 wide traffic. Something's going on with Ryan with how he is in this driving line, because he did not get a good exit a few seconds ago. James Krahula is following them behind in good position to catch up as Jeff Ward's going to cut right in front of him.
Oh, look at the run behind Ward there is real, man. There comes James Krahula. We're on board there. But now James Krahula, Woodrow Mahan getting a run down the backstretch here. Or, I'm sorry, in the short chute. This is one huge mess of cars up here. Wow, Thomas George struggled with the exit of that turn. The 89 runs right up on him there. Jeff Ward. Krahula going to split the middle here, down the front straight into 1. Krahula making it 3 wide. Ward's going to back out of it. Now he's going to get back on it and get there on the inside. Right up next to the door, James Krahula was struggling there on the top. He had a handful of wheel.
Yeah, he definitely did. That's the best way to put it. He tried to take advantage of the slow up there from George and couldn't take advantage of it now. Now he's going to have to try keep the position from Mahan while also trying to pass Ward. Yeah, look at this here. Ward is in the worst position based on how the cars have been running. He gets a good exit this time compared to the last couple laps of drivers who have been on the bottom. But James Krahula is going to fall behind as Mahan's going to go for the pass in 1.
Woodrow Mahan showing a little grunt down there. Ooh, Krahula get a nice run through the center of the turn. Really nice run through the center of the turn. That car drives off the turn really well here early. They've only been out here for about 5 angry laps on these tires. But Krahula making it work there early. Man, really, really great battling going on behind them. You saw Norman Pelletier and Scott Eckridge were right next to each other. Eckridge, remember, down a lap, working his way through this field already, though. May have had a technical issue, but that car's still running. Eckridge already getting by these 2 cars here. That's the 28. I'm sorry, the 82, not the 20. I was looking at it the wrong way. Troy Haight, Justin Rodden right there. Eckridge cuts right up in front of him.
Yeah, and Eckridge is just bolting through the field. I'm wondering if it might be actually possible for him to get his lap back by passing cars, as Rodden has a bad exit there.
Oh, boy.
And he saves it from going into the grass. He's going to lose 2 spots there from that, but he's just saves it.
Yeah, he's going to lose more than that. They're still going by Rich Jetty, another car that just got by him. Jetty got in too hot, though, trying to get by him. Jetty slides up the track, has to back out of it. He's bringing Ricky Harden along with him. Justin Rodden gets back on the hammer. He recovers from that. Still up 9 spots, but he's got to be careful. He lost 4 spots there that he had to give up after making that small mistake. Now Harden trying to set him up for a move back there. Chris, love this shot. Look at these cars coming down the front straight. Still a really, really tight group here. We have completed about a quarter of this race now. Harden looking to the inside of Rodden back here. It's a battle for 13th. Harden going to move up to 13th.
Yeah, Rodden keeps on losing positions after having the bad exit out of Trenton a couple laps ago. So he needs to start recovering and quick. It's probably going to take another half a lap, really, because when you have something like that, the tires are going to heat up a little bit, and it's going to cause the car to be more looser, really. So he might be battling a loose car to try and get it together. And speaking of loose car, Rich Jetty is going around number 3.
Oh, hang on to it, Rich. Hang on to it. Keep it down there. Keep it down there. No caution. We'll get the replay here. See what happened to Rich. It looks like Justin, he just lost him.
Yeah, I noticed something was going on as we were mentioning that discussion. He hit the rumble strips, I think, and just lost the back end.
Got just tried
saving it, and bam, hits the wall, spins around just enough in the pit entrance window to keep things going green, as that's going to end off his race.
Kept it out of the racing line, and by doing that, does his fellow drivers a favor by not bringing out a caution flag here. Let's go back to Joshua King in 12th. He is really starting to pick things up just a bit. Now, he does have Ricky Harden following him. Just up in front of him, Troy Haight, Norm Pelletier. This has been a good little battle here for a couple of laps. All four of these cars starting to reel each other in. And that's what we've come to now, as we got about 10 laps in the books here since we got restarted. Justin, we're seeing cars spread out here just a bit. We've got small packs of racing going on here. Maybe even a little bit of leapfrog going on in a couple places.
Yeah, that's to be expected with Pocono here. It's one of the more competitive tracks, really. One of those small groupings includes the leading group at this point, because Nick Cohan in that clean air is starting to pull away like Eckeridge had been doing before. That small grouping I'm mentioning is currently Yazik and McDougall, because those two are basically swapping back and forth a little bit at this point. And with that draft, really, you're seeing small groupings starting to get more bunched up or spread out too, as caution's out.
Oh, caution is out. We will follow on McDougall chasing Yazik down right there. Why do we have a caution? Let's see what happened.
And Yep, Don Runkle Jr. right now, he hit the rumble strip just like Jetty did. He got loose and just loose, had a self-spin and no damage, and that time it brings out the caution.
Yeah, and it's because the car slid down across the track. There were cars coming through, and that triggers the caution flag here in iRacing. Bit of a shame there. Don was actually having a pretty good run. You know what? I think he's going to recover from that okay. Not a lot of heavy damage on the car. I think Don's going to be okay. Makes a little bit of a mistake, but I think he's going to recover from that okay.
Yeah, I don't even think he hit the wall on that, really. He has already even apologized for bringing out the caution. So with that, though, it helps with the strategy a little bit. I think everyone at this point is going to do the same thing, 4 tires and fuel. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. And boy, that's gonna be big for Scott Eckrich, because that is gonna get him the coastal safety auditor's lucky dog, and he won't get that wave around quite yet. But well, let's go ahead and call it anyway. There's Brutus. He's hanging out. He's ready. He wanted to stretch his legs, and that coastal safety auditor lucky dog again. Got to go to Scott Eckrich. He's gonna get back on the lead lap, and what does that mean? Trouble for the rest of the field. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. They are now in the short chute. Everybody coming around, and Justin, I'm with you. I fully expect this field going to come on down here. 25 laps in. They got a pretty good run there. About 10 angry laps on these tires, and I'd say after 10, yeah, I'm good. Give me 4 fresh bolognas, top off my fuel, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there's no better way to sum it up, really, other than, maybe someone tries to go 2 tires for track position, but it is still a very risky situation if you were to do that, because 2 tires means a very loose car in this kind of situation. We might see someone gamble on it and try it out to see if it'll work for later. We'll have to see. It probably will, though, be 4 tires and fuel as cars start going to their pit stalls. Yazik going to lose a couple seconds as he overruns his stall a little bit, as well as Haight.
And pit road is busy, baby. They are scrambling down there. The teams are busy. Everybody coming out. Well, it looks like maybe Nick Cohan with a great pit stop is gonna get out of pit lane. Boy, it's like somebody shot him out of a cannon down there at the end of the pit lane. He gets out before everybody. McDougall gonna get out second. Tyler Dalton right behind him. And with that, with pit lane now emptying and everybody getting back on track, we're gonna take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel and be right back with you. Welcome back to the CJ Automotive 200 tonight here at Pocono Raceway. Here on the Global Sim Racing channel, we are back. Me and Justin Prince. I'm Jed Yaman up there twisting and tweaking the dials. Making our way through the short chute now, heading down to turn 3. Nick Cohan in the CJ Automotive Toyota. Gonna restart this race from the inside. Gregory McDougall still up front. Still a contender, still fighting Ty Dalton. Tommy Ryan just behind him. Here comes the Ford Mustang pace car to peel off. Nick Cohan on the hammer, down across the line. He's got it. Tyler Dalton gonna run with him down to 1. There's McDougall up top. Oh, look at Cohan, break to the top. And then back to the bottom. Boy, takes the nose right off of Tyler Dalton while he's doing it. Good momentum. Great run there off the turn for Cohan. Here comes Tyler Dalton, though, for the first time tonight. He finds himself up front here, battling for first place. McDougall with a great start, sitting back there in the third. Tommy Ryan there with him. Boy, Jeff Ward really struggling on that restart. He's dropping like a rock. Barula, Thomas George screaming right past him. Ward going to try and make it stick there on the bottom, but he's losing momentum still. Maybe picking a little bit up here off exit. But man, that seems to be the place to be right up there in that top groove right now as we get restarted, Justin.
Yeah, it seems to be because, well, passes are getting done in the bottom groove so far. The fast group seems to be that top side once things get going, because it is different turns, angles, and whatnot, but you're seeing a lot of drivers taking advantage of when they are not trying to go for the charge, taking advantage of the middle to middle bottom to middle top, really, as Thomas George trying to make a pass. Meanwhile, 3 wide, just a couple spots behind him.
Boy, and Corula, Thomas George were really close there, but Corula going to get that spot back. Here comes Jeff Ward now, finally back up on his horse. He is now racing past Thomas George down there on the inside, looking to take another position back here, but Ward, not enough momentum there to get it done. He's going to slip back in line.
And the opposite of momentum for Paul Pepper. Meanwhile, he got loose out of 3, and it's bumper cars down the straight as Kane as well as Forsky got into the back a little bit, bumping into the turn 1. Things are still calm and clear, though, as you're seeing Jeff Ward still battling alongside with Thomas George in as well. Krahula in that grouping. Look at Dalton, though. He's keeping up this time with Cohan.
Boy, I just saw Tommy Ryan there in the 6, sitting back there in 4th spot. He got really loose off the turn. Yazik right behind him, had to back out of it just a little bit. Decides to run with it, but now Yazik looking to the inside of Tommy Ryan. Wants that spot. Love to get another rung up the ladder here. They come across, give it to Tommy Ryan. Cross the line, still in 4th. Yazik going to try and take him down here in turn 1. Can he pull this off? Yazik gets the wheel in, gets past him. Tommy still with some great momentum up there in the center of the turn out of 1. It's still a good battle on the back stretch.
And a great exit there. Meanwhile, Dalton just a couple car lengths ahead of them had been on the outside and lost time with his exit, really. So now Yazik might lose a spot to Ryan, pardon me. Or Yazik did get past Ryan, I should say.
Yeah, Yazik able to get by Ryan, and again, this battle, though, not over at all. Ryan still working with him here. Jeff Ward, James Krahula just behind them, still having a good battle. Now Ward back to it. Got some momentum going here. He gets around Krahula. That's the name of the game here at Pocono, momentum. Got to keep it up. Got to keep good momentum going. Scuffing off speed here will always cost you spots. Battle for second place. There he is. McDougall looking to take this back from Ty Dalton. Oh, McDougall right up with Dory Himmel. Oh, and the caution's out. Oh, and it's Woodrow Mahan. Woodrow Mahan, big trouble. Gets into Joshua King. Joshua King hits the inside barrier really hard. Wow. Look at this replay. Wow.
Yeah. That is exactly what I'm thinking and saying in my head right now as King slams the wall hard there.
And Woodrow just got a little bit loose, and I think might have overcorrected just a bit. You're going to see what happens to King here. He's just going to get door slammed here. Not any fault of Woodrow's, really just couldn't catch it. Woodrow hits him, and then Josh is going to go for this horrible ride. Take such a hard shot down there. I can't imagine that car going to be able to come back out anytime soon. It's going to be in for a heavy damage repair.
Yeah,
that is a shame.
Yeah, he's already put it behind the garage, really, as it's now officially a barbecue with that, basically. So bad luck for King there, as we do have a Coastaway lucky dog, don't we?
We do. Devin Cannon going to earn it this time around. Going to be your Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. There's Brutus, good doggy. Going to get that Coastal Safety Auditor lucky dog, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Congratulations to Devin for picking that up. You know, Woodrow, for the most part, had been staying out of trouble, and again, it's just a situation where the car got a little bit loose and overcorrection there, maybe just by a hair, and it just all went bad really, really quick. Woodrow suffered heavy damage on the Blue Bullet. As we come around, though, and everybody getting close here to the pit lane, I think you're going to see everybody come down again. Why not? I don't know. Maybe. Nope. Nick Cohan.
Yeah.
Cohan making a late decision to come on in with everybody else.
And somebody did stay out. In fact, it was
Ricky Harden.
Ricky Harden deciding to mix things up here. Yeah.
Okay, Ricky with some shenanigans here. Now that car, I got to be honest with you, Ricky's he's had a better race car out there. The car is suffering a little bit of damage right now. The rear end on it pretty beat up. I don't know how competitive he could be there from that spot, but he's going to take a run at it with about 8 laps of racing on those tires. Everybody else going to slot in behind him. Nick Cohan wins that race off of pit road. Taking Tyler Dalton and Tommy Ryan right behind him, James Grola and Thomas George.
And I was going to mention that before the caution flag, Scott Eckridge had been our biggest mover since his technical issue. He had got back into the top 10. He just lost just about all of that on the pit stops, though, because he had issues trying to get into his pit box. It looked like millimeters too far, so he had to back up a few times, cost him about 4 or 5 seconds. So he loses every single position just about he gained on that green flag run.
All right. Well, we're getting awful close to a very, very important part in this race, but we're not quite there yet. We'll be there in just a few laps. Everybody's cycling around these pit stops, these pace laps here at Pocono. Pretty slow, folks, and with a pace speed. What's the pace speed here? I think it's like only 75 miles an hour. And whereas that might sound fast to you and I on the highway in our local town, not very fast around this 2.5 mile super speedway. Ricky Harden going to do something pretty interesting here, though, restarting this race from the front. Got some laps on those tires, but the lights are not out on that pace car yet. So what we'll do is we'll take another quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, and we'll be back with you here in just a moment. You're back live on the Global Sim Racing Channel here from Pocono Raceway. Here in the CJ Automotive 200, the Patriot Fire Cup Series. And boys, we have got one going here for you tonight. Get ready to get restarted. The lights are out on the pace car. Ricky Harden going to restart this race. He opted not to pit. Going to play a little strategy. Try to get to the halfway point here and pick up those bonus points. Can he hang on? We'll see. We'll find out here in just a moment. They're getting ready to release the hounds now. That Ford pace car coming out of turn 3. Ricky Harden locked in, loaded, ready to go. I think he'll probably get to it quick. He does find that loud pedal immediately. And boy, look there in the middle. Tommy Ryan tries to force the issue. Sends cars scrambling all over the place on the restart. Ryan, go ahead.
I'm not sure what he was trying to do, Ryan, there. He was trying to make a hold that was non-existent there. As things settle down, Cohan bumping, running Dalton like crazy.
Boy, he roughed him up just a bit there in the center of the turn. Look at Dalton go there up on the top side, though. Gonna try and take down Ricky Harden, heading down to turn 2. Oh, Dalton gonna power it through. Can Harden hang on, get back to that spot? No. Dalton gonna get past Harden, take the lead. Here comes Nick Cohan. Harden still looking pretty good through the center of the turn, but Cohan powering it down off the bottom. Whew, nice move by Cohan. Take it away from Harden. Harden's little gamble here, unfortunately, not paying off right now. Hasn't lost a whole lot of spots, but keeping himself in the top 10 here for a couple of bonus points, not a bad thing. He can stay within the top 10. Now he's side by side with Yazik. Out of 1.
And Yazik has a good position really to make the pass out of 2. And it looks like he's going to do exactly that there. Ryan's going to try and come in next. And Harden's actually holding on thanks to some help from Ryan as Ryan is on his back bumper.
Wow. Laying the bumper to him there pretty hard just before the turn, but Harden able to hang on. Harden loose. A little bit of a tank slapper there off of turn 3. It's a dead heat between him and Yazik as they go across the line. Yazik going to move up to 3rd now, though. Jeff Ward down there on the bottom. Oh, and Ward gets, get him straight
Caution.
out. No, doesn't happen. Harden does get straightened out eventually, but everybody checking up behind him. Oh, man. Harden does not actually go all the way around him, but all the other cars getting into him. Thomas George. You see George down there on the bottom. There's the one getting through there. George McDougal. And eventually Harden's car, the 15, gets straightened back out, and he picks up more damage on that Chevrolet. Here's another angle. Here's George, Gregory McDougal on board with him. Nowhere to go for him here. He's got to check up. He gets in damage on the front end, getting into Harden. Everybody just fighting for that same piece of real estate there, Justin.
Yeah, it was a major battle here. We're seeing the view from Jeff Ward now from that carnage there. As it looks like Ward just went up a bit and Harden started going sideways, and then Calamity Corner just... Well, still had the better description of it, really, but of course, with that sideways run from Harden, that's going to be sideways. But we did reach halfway, didn't we, Sean?
We did, and at the halfway point there, as the caution's coming out, Tyler Dalton is your leader, and he will take home the bonus points tonight for being your halfway leader. The top 10 will each get a point, 10 points to tie back on through 10th, 1 to Kurhula there. But Tyler Dalton is your American Pool Supply Halfway Award winner, and congratulations to him. American Pool Supply, hashtag the pool is clean. And congratulations again to Tyler Dalton. Nick Cohan in 2nd. Front of the field pretty much unchanged. But, what started out as a car getting sideways kind of erupted into a bit of an incident there. And you know what? These guys just have not seemed to find a real good groove yet, Justin.
Yeah, not quite yet, surprisingly yet, because the longest green flag run has been about 13 laps or so, and that's the amount of tires Harden was on in terms of length. He is coming in along with everybody else here, though, as trouble's in the pit lane.
Oh, boy, big trouble. We'll get that replay here in just a moment. Everybody's screaming down in the pit lane right now. I saw Ricky Harden missed his box, slid in. Several cars, though, they're scrambling to try and avoid that. We'll pick up that replay in a moment when everybody gets out of the pit lane. Who is going to win this race off? Oh, Paul Pepper with a big run. Paul Pepper. Wow, Pepper with a great pit stop. Only takes 2 tires. Several drivers on the pit lane gambling with a 2-tire strategy here. Paul Pepper, the one, though, to get all the way out there first. Let's pick up this replay of what happened on pit road getting in.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that because it did actually involve Paul Pepper and Calvin Faworski, as you will see here. Faworski is on the left, Pepper on the right, and Faworski comes right down on Pepper. Pepper spins him right out, and man, just... Yeah, let's see it on board here.
Wow. And we'll go on board Pepper. Calvin comes down across in front of him here and maybe thought he was clear. I'm not sure, but you're going to see Pepper hook him. And Pepper picking up right side damage because of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he ended up with coming out first, even with the 2-tire strategy with that happening.
Yeah. Well, that is going to produce a lucky dog for us. And that is going to be the number 66, Jonathan Lawrence in the WWE Toyota Camry. And there he is. Brutus back out with us again. Going for a run here in the infield of Pocono. We've got his leash on, I promise. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Yes, one of our people in chat, Tony Cart, says Paul Pepper is bringing the heat. He was bringing the heat indeed. He was bringing it all the way through the pit lane and 2 tires, a couple of drivers, got a couple more drivers. Justin Rodden, another driver that goes with 2. Let's see who else. Troy Haight gonna roll with that. So we'll see here. That might be a strategy that can work. We'll have to definitely pay attention to their restarts and see where it takes them. Paul Pepper, though, started this race. He started it in 24th. Finds himself restarting here from the point.
I think this is the point, though. You can get away with the 2-tire stop with about 5 laps difference. This is when you can get away with it. Paul Pepper capitalizing on that. Brian Yasek curling in 2nd place.
Well, Pepper, a driver who's been kind of, mired back in the mid-pack. This is his chance to take a shot. We've passed the halfway point. He probably doesn't have enough fuel to get him to the end. He's close. He's going to be really, really close in that window. But, we'll see what Pepper can do with this. Certainly a driver capable of winning this race. Yazek gotten himself a little bit closer up here to the front. He's going to restart 2nd. Nick Cohan, in fact, while we come back around, let's go through the field and let you know where everybody's at right now. Again, Paul Pepper is going to restart your leader, Brian Yazek, in 2nd. Nick Cohan now 3rd. Scott Eckrich 4th. Justin Rodden in, things are shuffling on me now here. What are we doing?
Yeah, Eckrich, I think, was pulling to the inside as we were starting that rundown.
Oh, okay.
So he has now officially stopped on the track, meanwhile. So maybe having some more technical issues for this. He did have pedal issues before.
Yeah, and he may be having that issue again because he stopped and now he's back underway.
Okay, should we start that again, my friend?
All right. Well, let's see. We stopped at Rodden in fourth, Tyler Dalton in fifth, Troy Haight in sixth, Norm Pelletier seventh, James Grula in eighth, Gregory McDougall ninth, Brad Collins up to 10th. Take the second 10 there for me, Justin.
And the second 10 at this point in juncture so far in what has been a very interesting race. In 11th spot is Gregory McDougall. In 12th place is Andrew Jones. 13th, Travis McQuiston. John Wilco, 14th. Thomas George, 15th. Don Runkle Jr., 16th. Devin Cannon, 17th. Things are shuffling around a little bit, but Tommy Ryan is in 18th. Jeff Ward, 19th. And rounding up the top 20 is Gerald Livingston. Some of those cars, though, did come in for some repairs after that incident we've seen with that brought out the last caution, as we're looking like we're about to go green.
No, actually, we're going to go around one more time here.
Pardon me there.
Yeah, the light's still going on. The tree is still lit, as they say, and we'll do at least one more here, and I think it had everything to do with Eckridge stop there on the track, and it's the reason we got the lights lit one more time. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go out here. Everybody already lined up, double file. We got a lot of cars deciding to come down. We're in that window here where they can stretch a full run. Brad Collins, Snoop Doggy Don Runkle, Thomas Georgian, Devin Cannon, Tommy Ryan. Lots of cars.
Yeah, this is a strategy call. With the delayed green, they probably thought exactly that. They might be able to stretch it. I don't recommend it, but they might try and do it. If we get a long green flag run, they might be in the best position out of everybody once the end of the race comes around. But Paul Pepper, meanwhile, he's chosen the outside to start off the restart.
Well, really, that middle outside groove have really been moving, Justin. And I like this decision by Pepper to start up there. But boy, Yazik has been awful good this evening. And you know what? Boy, it's going to be a tough restart here. Really, really is. Nick Cohan, Justin Rodden will be right behind them to put the pressure on. Pepper cannot afford any kind of mistake here on this restart. Done a great job to put himself in position up here to fight. But again, going to have to be very, very careful in this restart. They're coming into the short chute now. The anticipation is mounting. The lights are off on the Ford Mustang pace car.
And you can see everyone's all set to go. One person to watch, Eckridge, even with stopping on the track, is in 7th. He might be trying to charge for the lead quickly, as Cohan, I think, has just blinked out, and he's back.
All right, and everybody aware of that? Here we go. Quiet as a church mouse. You can hear a pin drop right now in here. Comes the Ford Mustang pace car. It is off away. And boy, Paul Pepper getting a great jump there. Yazik falls asleep just a bit on it. Cohan has to check up as to not run over Yazik. Rodden with a good restart up top. They're 3 wide just behind. Watch out. You've got Eckridge, Dalton, and Rodden. Rodden going to break away from that pack. Just up in front of him, though, Cohan, Pepper, side by side. Yazik able to break away into the lead. What a run for Yazik off of turn 1, man.
Yeah, and Paul Pepper's dropping like a rock, as some people predicted might happen. He has already dropped to about 5th. Eckridge is blocking Dalton down to the bottom of the racetrack, though. As Eckridge is moving up quickly, Pepper becoming the rock.
Boy, and Eckridge already a factor in this run for a win. Back behind them, though, a real scramble. Troy Haight leading everybody back here. Haight sitting there in 6th. James Grula side by side with McDougall. Justin Rodden has slid all the way back into this battle now. Norman Pelletier down there on the inside of Rodden on board with Haight. You see all this action going on behind him. Cars just sliding all over this big track here at Pocono.
Yeah, and despite the cool track temps, this is, like we've talked about a couple times, a track where you see a lot of wear, but Cohan's making a charge for the lead, Sean.
Nick Cohan trying to get to the point. Looking down on the inside of Yazik. Cohan. Ooh, can he complete it? He can't. Yazik with the power off the top of the turn. Man, great exit from turn 3. Powers him down that front straightaway. Cohan had nothing for him. Couldn't stop it. Brian Yazik in the HPP Simulation Ford. Tour 1's your leader. Cohan chasing. Not enough here, though. Cohan was a little wide off that turn.
And Yazik was a little slow in that turn as well, which almost lost Yazik the said lead. So it could have been, if Cohan didn't make the mistake there, he could have made the pole, as Yazik is a little loose out of 2.
Wow. Just Paul Pepper letting guys by right now. He just doesn't have a handle on it here. It was a good attempt by him, but the car really, really loose, and boy, he gets just a piece of turn 3 on the way off the exit. Norm Pelletier going to make a move down to the inside of him. Pepper going to slide all the way back to 9th. Jeff Ward's back there too. Ward still digging, locked in. He just gets by Paul Pepper. Ward up to 9th. He's following Norm Pelletier. Norm in that 56 right there you saw on the screen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's some damage. There probably is damage, I should say, from the pit road incident that is basically counteracting the 2-tire strategy that was working out. I think it's not just a tire wear difference between the 2 tires. I think it's, like I said, that damage hurting his aerodynamics because he's dropping like a rock down the front straightaways, not just through the turns right now.
Oh, Yazik just slides that car all the way through turn 3. We've got a battle. Do we have a battle back here for 8th? Just missed that. I think that was Troy Haight, Jeff Ward going at it. Ward actually the driver now up to 8th. Right behind him though, Norm Pelletier. Paul Pepper, Pelletier trying to get around on the top side. Can he complete this? Pelletier gets a little wild and wicked. Gets a little bit of the concrete. Pepper going to slide back though. Into 10th, Pelletier up to 9th.
And speaking of wild, Eckeridge makes the move on Cohan for 2nd. Cohan just led him by entering Indianapolis. Let's see what happened here. You can see Eckeridge the faster speed, and just Cohan said, I'm not going to challenge that, and lets Eckeridge right on by. Yazik's going to have to hold him back here as we're back live here as they enter Trenton.
Oh, I think we've got a spinner coming off of turn 3, I think. No caution. Norman Pelletier having trouble getting off of turn 3. Right here, there he is, the 56, and he just slides it right in front of, was that Paul Pepper, I think it was?
Yes.
Man, he slides it right down to the pit. Very, very fortunate the caution does not come out there. Eckeridge now getting ready to make this run at Brian Yazik, trying to pull off the pass. He's going to do it down the backstretch. Eckeridge to the inside. Yazik got nothing for him right now, or maybe he does. Oh, and Eckeridge got tight. Got really, really tight there at the exit of 3. Yazik going to hold the spot across the line.
Yeah, and Eckeridge has just been on a tear ever since the technical issue. He has just been wanting to get back out front, bumping and banging. He is going to not be able to pull off the pass yet on Yazik. He is just trying to time it out right here.
Couple of Fords going to war here, followed by the Toyota of Nick Cohan. Cohan in a perfect spot to just watch these two fight. Under 30 laps to go in this race. Everything on the line here. On board with Nick Cohan watching this battle. It's a great shot here of what's going on. The fight, the struggle that Eckeridge is going through to try and get around Yazik. Breaks to the inside here across the start-finish line. Got a wheel in on the fender of Brian Yazik going down into 1.
And look at that entrance on Eckeridge. He's going to do a slide job a bit. He's a little loose through Trenton, but he's going to hang on to it. Too wide heading into Indy. Kind of curious to see if Eckridge, though, is wearing out those tires. We'll have to see as the run continues. That might be evening out the battle, really, as Yazik's going to have to fight like a bulldog, really, to keep this lead at this point.
Well, I'll tell you what, hats off to Eckridge, to his commitment down there on the bottom and being able to make the car work. Cohan has reeled these two in, though. He's right up on the action. Cohan might try and step out and make a run at it here at some point. Yazik. Was that contact? Maybe a little bit of contact there from Scott Eckridge. Eckridge backs out of it, does not run him over. Lets him get the car reset, but here comes Nick Cohan. Cohan down there on the inside, going to take the prime spot. Ooh, there's Eckridge. Eckridge right up on Cohan.
Way too close.
What restraint by Scott Eckridge.
And he clips Cohan. Cohan's going to slide. Caution out.
Yeah, those two bumpers just did not line up, the Ford and the Toyota. It's going to be a little bumper magic here as Eckridge slides up the track, and he doesn't hook him, but he actually gets enough of the bumper that it gets him around. And Nick, really, really lucky there to not come back across the track into the wall or into anyone's line there. Avoids any damage, loses a lot of spots though. And that's going to be a tough break for Cohan, who's spent most of this race up there towards the front, Justin.
Yeah, bad break. You saw a bit of the chaos there. Eckridge has been very aggressive trying to get to the front. That was just a case of just clipping the back end, really. With that said aggressiveness, it looks like he didn't realize he was touching him out of Indianapolis there. Cohan, though, is still in the top 10, even with that. He is still in 9th. So, he still has a chance to work his way back up.
Yeah, definitely, but boy, Scott Eckridge back to the lead of this race. He's been away for a while, but guess what? He's back. He does complete the pass on Brian Yazik, finally. Yazik gave him a great fight, but couldn't hold him off forever. Eckridge back to the front. The field all catching up to the pace car now as we get around turn 3 here. Pit road's going to be a busy place. Could be the last one we see out of all of these drivers.
You really think, though? It's still lap 55. If we have an error quick caution, we could have an error pit stop, really, as here they come. Eckridge going to lead them on the way. And it looks like no surprises here. No one staying out, really, as the first cars start pulling in.
Yeah, looks like everybody behaving themselves so far. Nobody spinning it out on pit lane this time. Our lucky dog, though, is going to be the North.
Oh, look at this. Eckridge first, but Rodden gets out second out of the pits. So Rodden with a good pit stop there to get in front of Yazik.
So Rodden gets out just behind him. Now, the interesting thing here is Gerald Livingston actually stayed out. And Livingston is on the lead lap. He decides to stay on track. He could still opt to come in.
I'm wondering if he might be doing that because this is still a little risky after what we saw with Paul Pepper, especially with 4 instead of what Pepper had with 2. I don't know what Livingston's strategy is other than he might be deciding to come a lap later than putting himself to the back, but the Coastal Safety Otters Lucky Dog has to come out. Ricky Harden is going to come around and play with Brutus as he is your Coastal Safety Otters Lucky Dog.
Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety. And with that, we are going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel and probably be back for you here for an exciting finish in just a moment. We are back, and you are looking live here at the action on the Global Sim Racing channel, the CJ Automotive 200. Getting ready to crank back up here with Scott Eckridge at the point, Justin Rodden up to second, Brian Yosick in third, Tyler Dalton fourth, Greg McDougall fifth, James Grahula sixth, Jeff Ward seventh, Paul Pepper eighth, Thomas George ninth, and Nick Cohan rounding out your top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, this race is not over, not even close. We're going to get restarted with 22 laps to go. And all 22 of those are going to come to you live here on the Global Sim Racing channel, the Ford Mustang pace car. Here it goes, it's off, it's away, and wow. Rodden right there with Scott Eckridge on that restart. A dead heat practically across the line. Tyler Dalton looking to the middle already. 3 wide just behind Eckridge as they get going here into turn 1.
Yeah, and look at Kohan as Grahula gets pushed up there. But Kohan really pushing through. But Grahula, what happened with him? He lost a bunch of spots.
Still loses spots. Getting picked up by his teammate back there, though. Ricky Harden found his bumper, giving him a little help. Rodden is the guy getting shuffled out now. He's all the way up top, fighting with the wall there. Paul Pepper getting down in below him. Poor Justin Rodden slipping all the way back down to 9th.
Well, Rodden did take 2 tires, and while Pepper did have a 5-lap difference, this is a bigger difference right now. Now it's going to be 3 wide trying to get by Rodden. 4 wide!
That shot across the line. Everybody wants these positions.
Oh, and I saw that coming. Trouble.
Oh, Pelletier up at the wall. So is Tommy Ryan. Oh, boy. Let's see what happened to Tommy here. It looked like maybe, actually Pepper was the one that broke loose in the middle of that pack there. Pepper makes a little bit of side-by-side contact with the 67 of Brad Collins, and that gets everybody out of shape. Ouch. Let's go on board with Paul Pepper here.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it 4 wide and getting tight, even 3 wide there, I saw that kind of coming. Just, there was no way it was going to be that clean, that tight with that situation. Paul Pepper still ended up rolling there, really, but man, just bad situation, bad timing again. Just very tight situation with it going 4 wide.
Yeah, you know what? Chris Scala finally gets the Fred J. Moore Plumbing Chevrolet back on the track, and we'll go on board with him. You see his car pretty beat up there. Scala coming down here into turn 1. He's really not going to have anywhere to go here. He sees the smoke, obviously, and he's got to get right on the binders. Just barely stops in time to prevent from destroying Ricky Harden any worse than he'd already been hammered there. But boy, that was not a really good restart for several drivers. I mean, they were fighting hard. We had 5 wide down the front stretch of that shot there, Justin, and that was intense. Now we find ourselves under 20 laps to go, another caution flag, and another, well, what are they going to do? Does everybody come in here, or do we stay out? I personally, I don't think there's any reason to come down at this point. I think you hold position, hold serve here. You can certainly take a shot if you're at the back of the pack, but I don't know. If I'm in this top 10, top 15, I'm probably keeping the car on track right now.
I would still bring it in with this kind of range, really, if you think it might make the difference. A few drivers might be doing that, and Grahula is leading the charge with that said group, as that is, I think, a smart strategy to try and get some tire difference, a little bit at least, for the fall-off, as it's about just under 10 cars in the pits here, leading the charge.
Yeah, when I look at the names in the top 5, top 6 of this race, heck, let's just say the top 7. Honestly, those are all going to be really hard guys to catch. Even though they've got just a couple more angry laps on the tires, I still think they're going to be awful hard to catch. Scott Eckridge still very, very much in command of this race. Just took it back a little while ago. Ty Dalton going to get a chance to restart here in second. Anything can happen for him. But we are going to get another lucky dog here. It's going to be another one for Jonathan Lawrence, who does find himself many laps down. But lucky dog nonetheless for him. There it is. The WWE Toyota Camry gets that Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog. Brutus is outstretching his legs again. Brutus getting quite the workout tonight for Coastal Safety Auditors. Your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Good boy, Brutus. Good boy. We'll make sure you get a nice week at the beach here and maybe get a little sun, a little relaxation for you after this one tonight. The laundry of choice this evening, the yellow, not what we always like to see here. And boy, again, the length of these pace laps make it a bit of a grind for these drivers, Justin. Really, really hard to keep your focus when you get started and have to stop down and pace this track. Okay, back at the CJ Automotive 200 pace car coming out of turn 3. We apologize for the quick technical difficulty. We are good, ready to go, ready to race. So is Scott Eckrich, going to lead him down with Tyler Dalton on his outside. Eckrich going to start from the inside of the field. The pace car is off, and so is Scott Eckrich. Man, he got on the hammer quick there. Nick Cohan already scrambling, stepping to the outside, and Tyler Dalton just behind. Yazik down there, glued to the bottom there, 3 wide, heading to turn 1. And they're going to keep it 3 wide. Yazik going to back out of it, give it to Dalton there on the inside. Cohan fighting with him hard. Off of turn 1, they manage it together. Door handle to door handle. Ford against Chevrolet. I'm sorry, Toyota against Chevrolet there. Dalton trying to hang on to it. He gets squirrely. The car gets tight on him. It slides right up in front of Yazik. Yazik going to take the position away from Dalton. All that loss from Dalton. And the
trouble behind them as we got caution flag. Cars started going around out of Indy.
Boy. Yeah, looks like Paul Pepper got caught in the middle of a bad situation. Maybe catches some dirty air. Gets a little bit of Ricky Harden, then gets Harden again. Pelletier gets into Harden. This is going to be a mess. Poor Norm Pelletier had nowhere to go there. That happened right in front of him. You see Paul Pepper going to hit that wall so hard.
Really, this started really much out of 1 really, because they were almost full wide entering 1. Then out of 2, Pepper had to pull to the bottom, and that is the result of everything. Grahula getting a ton of damage, as you can see from his hood view here. And he had just gotten his repairs done too. And just horrific luck, really.
Yeah, it really, really was. One more replay of it here. You see Pepper there, the 29 in the middle. And he is just going to go for Mr. Toad's wild ride here. Man. You saw the 5 there, and who poor Derek Paulson's had... I'm just going to say it now. He's had a terrible race. That poor car's been beat up so much. He looks like he's surviving at 12 rounds with Mike Tyson out there. And he checks up. Nowhere to go there for him. The misery continues for Derek Paulson this evening. Man, boy, lots of cars involved in that. Having to recover from that. I think James Grahula said something about having to take a tow there. That's really going to hurt. Grahula having a really good run this evening, and now, boy, what could have been. That's going to be a tough ending for him and all those drivers involved in that.
Yeah,
well,
it was...
Go ahead.
Yeah, just... I have no better way to put it. You took the words right out of my mouth. The question is going to be the only one coming down the pits, but... That's going to take out a lot of good cars, but I believe we do have a lucky dog coming right around in a WWE car.
Yeah, Justin Rodden, I'm sorry, not Justin Rodden, Jonathan Lawrence. Lawrence getting that lucky dog, the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog, good boy Brutus. I promise we're going to take it easy on you. We're going to let you rest till next Thursday night after this one. But he is definitely getting a good run here in the infield of Pocono Raceway. Plenty of room to run down here. This 2.5 mile track, but the WWE Toyota Camry gets that lucky dog. Congratulations to him. Scott Eckrich still going to lead this race. And nobody thinking about pit road this time. We are in this to win it. We're in it to the checkers. And I think this field is primed for a great finish here. Don't give up on Cohan, Yazik, Dalton, Ward, or Gregory McDougal. You know, I feel like we haven't talked about McDougal enough. He has had an amazing race. Avoid some trouble. Has been there all night. Can he restart this thing? Somehow get around Jeff Ward, Tyler Dalton, Brian Yazik, Nick Cohan, Scott Eckrich, and find a way to win this race? We'll see. And Chevrolet SS definitely hungry for a win. You see, started second there. Currently sitting back here in 6th. but it's been a factor all night.
Yeah, this is his 9th start of the season, really, and half of his 8 starts prior were top 10 finishes, but with how he's been running all day has been basically the best he has ran, I think, all season, because he qualified up at the front. He is kept up at the front. So right now, a round of applause, I guess, for McDougall, really.
Let's talk about some of the big movers in this field as we, find ourselves in the closing laps of this race. Right now we've got Jeff Ward up 18 spots, sitting in 5th. We've got Justin Rodden back there up 14 spots, sitting in 8th. How about the zigzag Toyota Camry, the double aught of Snoop Doggy Don Runkle, running top 9 right now. Boy, what an effort by that team this evening. Brad Collins rounding out the top 10. He's up 16 spots. Go just a few more spots back. Andrew Jones sitting in 12th, up 16. Calvin Filarski started this race very, very deep in the pack, 34th spot. He's up to 13th. Devin Cannon up a few spots. Gerald Livingston. Remember old Gerald? He started at the very back of this thing tonight. Up 17 spots, finds himself in the top 15. So several drivers out here taking advantage of a long race here at Pocono, surviving the grind and finding the will to survive here tonight, Justin.
Yeah, the will to survive, and 3 teammates really up at that front right now all together. Ricky Harden has actually just said he doesn't know how his car's even running with that, as just after the rundown with the grid there. But man, we still have just about 10 laps to go, just about 11 laps to go when we go green, as Eckridge is going to choose the outside. This is going to be a wild finish.
Yeah, Eckridge is going to choose the outside this time, and it's going to leave the bottom to Nick Cohan when we get restarted. Tyler Dalton, Brian Yazik will start in row 2. Just behind them, you're going to find Gregory McDougall, Jeff Ward restarting in row 3, and then Justin Rodden, Thomas George in row 4. Don Runkle and Brad Collins will restart in row 5. I expect a mad scramble here when we get restarted. Car's already given a bit of distance there to the pace car. Want to make sure they get this restart right. Everybody being careful here. Lots at stake. We will get started with 11 laps to go. Now, we will reach a point where I think we can say this race is over. I would imagine if we get a caution somewhere around lap 5 or 4, or with 5 or 4 laps to go, I just don't know if we're going to be able to get this race restarted. It will be close. But Scott Eckridge right now just trying to hang on for 11 more laps. We come through the short chute now. Pace car really a pretty good distance up there in front of the field. They're really waiting this one out. Everybody patient here as they come off of turn 3. Pace car is going to pull off, and then you look for Eckridge to get a big run there off the top.
Yeah, the green flag comes out as soon as the pace car usually goes down. That's exactly what they're going to be planning here. They're going to jump.
Ooh, Eckridge gets that jump. Cohan, though, does a really good job of getting restarted. Doesn't fall asleep on that one. Slides right in behind our leader, Scott Eckridge. Turn 1, Brian Yazik got 3rd place. Tyler Dalton right outside his right rear fender. Dalton going to slide a little bit. Yazik going to move up to 3rd clean. Jeff Ward, Gregory McDougall back there battling for 5th.
Yeah, McDougall having a good run on the outside line heading into Indianapolis, but Ward gets the better entrance. He's going to move his way to the top 5. Ward's starting to make his push. Ward had finished 2nd here twice this week already at Pocono. He is now making his push.
Yeah, if you're going to make a push, you better make it soon. 10 laps to go. And I definitely think time is running out for some of this field. You better get busy if you want in this race. Scott Eckrich already pulling away from Nick Cohan just a little bit. Nick trying to find speed off the turn. Can't do it. The car was wicked loose. Brian Yazik just behind him trying to reel him in. Tyler Dalton back there in fourth. Nobody really moving yet. Ooh, Yazik with a bad entry into turn 2. That's going to bring Tyler Dalton right up on his bumper. Tyler going to look to the inside, down the back stretch, or down the short chute.
Yeah, he got loose through Indianapolis. That could cost him, but Yazik, a great exit here out of the Milwaukee Mile corner. A little loose, but still keeps the spot in front of Dalton as Cohan's making a run. Chaos behind him.
Big time chaos, and chaos for Andrew Jones. You know what? And actually, it was the 27 sliding in front of him. Andrew's going to check up. You're going to see it here on the replay. Lots of cars involved in that, unfortunately. Snoop Doggy Don Runkle, one of them. Here it is on the replay. Runkle right there in the middle of that. Car gets turned over, up on its side. Oh, that's a mad scramble there. Boy, oh boy. And again, the 27, Justin Rodden checking up there, slows everybody down just a little bit enough for Don to make that contact there with Andrew Jones. And that was a mess. Devin Cannon also got caught up in that. None of his car left. That's going to end the race for several cars, unfortunately. Well, let's look on the board from Devin Cannon. Cannon, just trying to hang on this evening. The Captain Motorsports driver, though, just involved in that, and it just knocks the whole front end off of his car.
Yeah, the
Boy,
tires
that was
are
costly,
even...
Justin.
Yeah, that is costly for a lot of drivers. Obviously, not just the ones out of it, really. That's going to shift things up for how we get off of the next restart. Cohan is in second and Yazik in third, but that's going to make strategy for a lot of drivers. That is something Eckrich I don't think really wanted to see either, because Eckrich has been a long run car. You don't want to see a bunch of short runs at the end of the race like this.
No, I mean, you're leaving a lot of things to chance here. But I will tell you this, by the time we get restarted, if there's another caution, that's it. The race is over. So all Eckrich right here has got to do on this restart, keep it clean, keep his opponents behind him, keep him in the mirror. This race is his for the taking. Certainly if a caution flag comes out, the positions will be frozen here throughout the field and everybody can go home. But boy, this race is going to be really, really hard on a lot of drivers who are up there fighting for this championship. But the cream always seems to rise to the top, because when you look at the top and who's up there right now, boy, you see guys that have been there all season. Scott Eckrich, well, when he's shown up, Nick Cohan, Brian Yazik, Tyler Dalton, Jeff Ward, Gregory McDougall, Ricky Harden having a tough night. Really one of the only drivers up towards the top of the points right now that you don't see up in this top 10. Ricky's back there struggling in 15th. But listen, still not a bad effort for Harden, all things considered. That car's a wreck, and he's still riding in the top 15. So, it won't be a horrible evening for Ricky as he peels off a pit lane. You see the damage that car's got on it, but again, 15th place, and honestly, he may still stand to pick up a position here or two. We'll see here on the restart.
Well, you did mention that at this time you need to get busy. When we get back to the restart, it's going to get busy. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more than one row 3 wide entering in Trenton to start off the next restart, because you're pressing your go buttons at this point if you are everyone in these cars. And if you're Yazik, you're pressing your nitro boost.
Yeah, you sure hope you have one. I'm feeling pretty good about that pick I made in the woodshed today. Nick Cohan has been strong. I think his sponsor there, CJ Automotive, got to be very, very happy with the fight, the determination in that car. I looked to see if there was any damage on Cohan's car, and actually looks like he might have gotten run into just a little bit there on the left rear, the rear end of the car. It looks like he might have gotten a tap from somebody at some point. It's got just a little bit of damage. I don't think that'll hurt his top speed, though.
Yeah, that is from the incident involving Eckridge, if that's what you're wondering there. Of course, Cohan had to slide sideways and save it. Like I said, he was lucky to stay in the top 10. That staying in the top 10 has helped him move back up fast to second. So even with that side spin, basically, or side slide, I should say, and that slight damage, it's not affecting him.
Yeah, and you know what? You're not going to worry about it at this point, because you know this last restart is the one for the money. All these guys, I think, have the restart dialed in as to what it's going to take, and they know if they get another caution, it's over. So it's going to be everybody on their own here when we get restarted, and it's going to be full throttle, full tilt, and as hot and exciting action as you've seen all night. Can't wait to get restarted, but we're going to need at least one more trip around this track to get it done. And Justin, you know what? Not entirely surprised to see the cautions that we've seen this evening. I had hoped for better out of this race, but sometimes things just happen, man. Not everybody on their A game this evening. Pocono, as tough a track as it comes on the NASCAR circuit, there's not any in between here. You either really love this track or you really don't love this track. And, obviously several drivers who have struggled this evening would probably fall on the side of not big fans. But boy, these guys up front really loving it right now. Eckridge, you remember when he fell all the way down through the field there and had to get a lucky dog? Do you seem to remember that, Justin?
Yes, I do. I know Patriot Farms remembers, that's for sure, as they cross the line once again, and we'll get ready for the restart. Then, Eckridge is going to be on the outside again here, but Eckridge, even with the technical issue, he still got his way back up front. If we would have stayed green for the rest of the way, I wouldn't have been surprised to see him get his lap back just by driving through the field and then winning it through pit stops. He is just out front in the end of this still. Everyone's going to just have to try and catch up to him and try and make a pass quick, because there's going to be about 4 laps to go when we restart. You're pressing your go buttons, you're putting on your aerodynamic helmets, and you're pressing your nitro buttons.
All right, Justin. Let's go here. We're getting ready to do this. The lights are out. We're coming down the backstretch now. It's Scott Eckridge, Nick Cohan, Tyler Dalton, Brian Yazzie, Gregory McDougall, Jeff Ward, Thomas George, Brad Collins, Calvin Filarski, and Justin Rodden, your top 10 to restart here. They have really, really let the pace car get out in front. Eckridge again electing to take the top side, leaves the bottom to Cohan. We'll get restarted with 4 laps to go around the tricky triangle here in the CJ Automotive 200 this evening, through the middle of turn 3. They are fired up, ready to go. The Ford Mustang pace car now exiting turn 3. Going to get right here to the end of pit lane and make that hard left. Nick Cohan gets on it hard. Gets across the line first. Dalton giving a little bit of help to Scott Eckridge, giving him a bit of a push there across the line. Eckridge going to slot into second. Cohan to the point. They're side by side.
Oh!
Eckridge clips him. Cohan able to Cohan able to hang on to it. He falls all the way back. Dalton on the attack. Brian Yazik there in front of him. Jeff Ward up to 4th place.
That was a great save from Nick there, as he was about 30, 40 degrees through that turn there now. It's coming down now to Eckridge along with Dalton and Yazik in the top 3.
Whew. Man, that was intense. That's going to give it to Eckridge, though. Eckridge going to come around, your leader here with 3 laps to go. Tyler, Dalton, Brian Yazik move it to the inside across the line as they head down to 1. Just behind them, you've got McDougall, Jeff Ward. Those positions not decided, neither is this podium. Dalton squaring off there with Brian Yazik, allowing Eckridge to continue to run away with this race. Let's see. Has Cohan made up any? Yes, he has. He's got a couple of spots back. Finds himself in 7th. I don't know if he's got enough time to try and get back to fight for the podium. He's going to have to get around Thomas George to do it. Look at this battle up front. Yazik down on the bottom. Tyler Dalton just in front of him. Man, Jeff Ward picking it up on the top side, getting around Yazik.
And 2 to go here. My goodness, big battle right now. Dalton having to hold on Ward, Yazik, as well as McDougall. They are just swapping spots. Eckridge, meanwhile, is just saying kumbaya. This is exactly what he wants to see right now.
Eckridge, your leader. He has run away from these guys a full second up the track. Dalton trying to hang on to 2nd, but here comes Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward, relatively quiet most of this evening, staying out of trouble. Started at the back of the pack. Coming through. Can he get this position from Dalton? Dalton looking to try and be a bridesmaid this evening. Again, Eckridge, I just don't think anybody's got anything for him, because here we come out of 3. Eckridge going to take the white flag here in the CJ Automotive 200. Eckridge going to need to go around one more time to collect this victory. Oh boy, Dalton having a fight off Jeff Ward here. Ward, has he got a 2nd place run in him? Gonna have to hold off Yazik. Yazik looking to make a charge on the inside. No momentum there, not enough. Oh, the car tightened up on him just a bit on exit. Ward hanging on to it. Here comes Scott Eckridge. You're on board with Dalton there. I'm picking up Eckridge coming out of turn 2. Still in command. You see him go by there on the bottom of your screen. That's the fight just behind him. Tyler Dalton trying to hang on. Hold off Jeff Ward. Dalton almost gets in. Or Ward almost gets into Dalton. Look at the bottom. There comes the 1. Oh, man. Oh, coming across the line. Scott Eckridge going to be your winner. They're wrecking just behind him. Oh. Brian Yazik going to get 2nd. Gregory McDougall 3rd. Tyler Dalton going to slide across in 4th. Jeff Ward going to come across in 5th. That was nuts. Absolutely crazy.
There's no other way to describe that, as Brad Collins at the end hit the catch fed. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, 3 wide at the end. McDougall comes up, and McDougall starts to try and make the pass, gets loose, hits Dalton. Yazik avoids the whole thing, and then Calamity Corner.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. What a finish. Well, I told you it was going to be exciting. And it was a green flag checkers finish there. We got it. It was a mess. Oh boy, Jeff Ward just all beat up there. What an odd night for him. Scott Eckridge, though, going to be your winner here tonight in the CJ Automotive 200 from Pocono Raceway. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We are back at Pocono Raceway this evening. The Patriot Fire Cup just wraps up here this evening. A 80-lap race, the CJ Automotive 200. What a race it was, and let's go through the results now. Scott Eckrich, your big winner tonight. Brian Yazik going to finish second. Gregory McDougall, third. Nick Cohan going to have to take that fourth place. He recovered for a fourth place finish. Tyler Dalton into fifth. Jeff Ward, sixth. Thomas George with a seventh place run tonight. Troy Haight in eighth. Ninth going to go to Tommy Ryan. And Brad Collins going to take that 10th place spot tonight.
And Ricky Harden, despite all the damage on his car, he comes away with 11th spot in this one. Travis McQuiston finishes 12th. John Wilco 13th. He had a fairly quiet night, but still comes away with a good top 15 finish. Gerald Livingston in 14th. Calvin Florski finishes 15th. Justin Rodden, he had been up front for a part of the race, but slipped back a few times. He comes away 16th. Norman Peltier III comes away 17th, while Andrew Jones is in 18th. Don Runkle Jr. in the Runkle-mobile. He comes away with some fairly bad luck, a few laps down. He was involved in a wreck. He comes away 19th. Devin Cannon, he had missed the initial start, actually. He still comes away with a top 20 finish, 9 laps down.
All right, I'll take the rest of the field. Our boy James Criolla with a tough night. He'll finish 21st. Paul Pepper, you know, he was up there challenging for a win at one point. He's going to settle for 22nd. Jonathan Lawrence, 23rd. Rick Thompson, 24th. 25th, going to go to Derek Paulson. Chris Scala, 37th tonight. Woodrow Mahan, going to finish 12th. 27th for Woodrow. Sorry, Woodrow. 28th, going to go to 28th spot. Joshua King. Drew Carroll, 29th. Rich Jetty, 30th. Randy Yoakum, 31st. Nicholas Caldwell, a hard debut for that young man, 32nd. Brett McBride, 33rd. And Stephen Herring, not sure what happened to Stephen. He didn't take a lap, so we're not going to score him. We're just going to say 33. That's where it ends. Brett McBride finishing 33rd this evening in what was an exciting race. But now it's time to talk to, I'm sure, a very excited winner, Mr. Scott Eckrich. Congratulations, sir. You decided to take a run at Pocono tonight, and it pays off for you in spades, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a rough night tonight, but glad to come here for, basically what we came for. We're basically run this race to win it, and we managed to do that, so.
A little tough to be a teammate tonight. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Scott?
Yeah, we were all racing pretty hard there, and some mistakes were made. I got bumped Brian a little bit there on that entry, trying to get everything I could. That was my bad, and just blocking stuff from then on out.
Yeah, and Pocono, it almost at times seemed a little bit like Bristol out there tonight, but it was a fun race. It was definitely everybody. I don't know. It just seemed intense. I say it was fun, but you tell me, was it intense or was it fun?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of both, depending on where, along with a little bit of frustrating, but, it's Pocono. It can be all of those things, followed by periods of boredom when you have cautions and 2-minute pace laps. And it's just we had a little bit of everything tonight, I think.
Yeah, and you had a little bit of technical issues to fight through. Talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, after 5 or 6 years of sim racing with the same pedals, I've managed to somehow get consistently unplugging my pedals somehow with my feet that I haven't quite figured out yet. So I'm going to have to glue that sucker in or something so I stop doing that.
Did you think you had any chance after that happened the first time and basically you basically lose that lap? What were you thinking there?
Well, you know how those things go, once you get bit by something like that, then that's when the race normally goes green flag to the end, right? So, I thought that could happen for sure. The second we got the caution and we got, back on the lead lap, then I figured from there, I had any shot as that I could have, as good as possible at that point.
So next week we head to the Glen. Do you look to be up in race control? Or are you going to be back in the seat?
For Glenn, should be back up in race control.
Okay, well, Scott, congratulations on the big win tonight. great effort for your team there, and we will see you next time. We'll talk to you in race control next week, my friend.
All right, thank you. See you then.
All right, and that is Scott Eckrich, your big winner tonight, man. He drove the wheels off of it, and for his efforts, he takes home the gold here at Pocono. Justin, I know you've caught up with a very excitable and excited point leader, Brian Yazik.
Yes, Brian Yazik, when you mentioned that if Eckrich gets the gold, then the silver goes to Yazik, even though it wasn't very easy with how the final turn came out. Brian, how was it really to handle what happened in the craziness that came out of turn 3 on that last lap to get second?
I don't know if there's really a way that you prepare yourself for that. I don't, it's just kind of one of those situations that, my sim racing experience goes all the way back to, NASCAR Racing 3. So maybe just a little bit of just creature of habit, kind of knowing what I did. And yeah, but that was a little nuts there.
Yeah. That's one of the best ways to really put it, with how that finished out of the final turn there. But basically, you did have a good car for the entire race, really staying up at the front and for much of the race, trying to keep up with Scott Eckrich. You actually led about a few laps, 8 laps overall. How was it to have, what was essentially a very good car and very good team effort as well?
Team effort, that some could make some questionable calls on that. We at Loud Pedal Motorsports, I tell the guys, race clean, race hard, and we just had some disagreements tonight, but we'll sort that out at the shop, and we'll be back. We'll be back next week and get that all taken care of. But what was the first part of your question there? I'm sorry, Justin.
I'm sorry, the first part of the question was, how was it with the fast car?
I was up in the booth all last year and watching Scott pretty much run however he wanted all over this series last year. So I knew, he's a hot shoe. He's a great talent, and he knows how to really drive these things. So, just the simple fact that I was able to hold him off there for a couple laps, that was exciting, because I couldn't do that last year. So I guess we're improving on things.
Indeed, because you still are in the points lead with the second place finish as well. What do you hope to do with Watkins Glen next week as we go to an entirely different beast compared to the Tricky Triangle?
Yeah, Watkins is going to be interesting. Of all the road courses we've run this year, I feel like this one's going to be probably the easiest. I think a lot of guys have done a lot of laps, at Watkins Glen, just through all these different things and all that. So I think guys are going to be well prepared for that. So, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a lot of opportunities for guys to get track time. That'll do, because we got trucks, which I don't think are getting broadcasted next Sunday, and then we got our Grand National Series. Everything's at Watkins Glen next week, but I know one thing, we're going to show up with this HPP simulation, Amsoil by Adam Blattle, Loud Pedal Motorsports Ford Fusion, and we're going to try and park this thing right in Victory Lane. So that's going to be the goal. I don't know if it's going to work that way in application. I kind of feel like the road courses have snookered me this year, but we'll give her a shot and just send it.
Sounds like a good strategy. We'll have to see how everything turns out next Thursday when we go to Watkins Glen. Thank you very much for the time, Brian. Brian Yazik finishing second.
And Gregory McDougall. Big win for the big podium finish for the Carolina driver this evening. I'm just tripping all over my tongue there, Greg. Congratulations, man, finding your way to the podium. That was quite a fight you had going out there this evening.
Yeah, it was. I just want to take a minute and say sorry to Tyler Dalton and his team. I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking there at the very end. I was trying to side draft them, and I just got into them. So I just want to say I apologize to him.
Now, was that Was that a north and south thing? Is one of you in North and the other one in South Carolina? How'd that work out there, Greg?
I don't know. Where's he from? I don't even know.
I know you're both Carolina drivers, but I don't know which one of you is where, to be honest with you. But hey, listen, it was a great race. There was a lot going on that last lap. Maybe walk us through that just a little bit.
Yeah, my main thing is I just want to try to hit my marks. Try to keep good speed up through the turns, and just try not to overdrive the car. And I felt like I did that. The car stuck, exactly how I needed it to, when I needed it to. So it's got a good run coming off 3, and I probably, would have finished where I did anyway if I wouldn't have wrecked Tyler, and it's just unfortunate.
Well, Tyler still winds up with a top 5 finish, and I think the key to tonight was putting in a good qualifying effort. You were all over it. I get the impression that you're pretty good at this track. You've got a little bit of experience here. Is that correct?
Yeah, not so much in the A car. I used to run a lot in the trucks years ago, but I kind of know the line, and I kind of know what needs to be done. I'm definitely not the fastest guy here, but I feel like I can hold my own.
Well, Greg, we head on to a roadie next week for the last round here in the summer session. How do you like your chances heading to the Glen?
Not good. I'll be honest with you. I love the Glen. I don't know much about road driving. I did a little bit of the AFIX practice, and I'm about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds off from the fastest lap. So I do like it. I'm just not very good at it.
Well, here's to you and putting in some good practice laps heading into next week. Congratulations again on your 3rd place finish this evening, and we'll see you next time, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I just want to say thanks to Will Warshler and for spotting for me, everybody at NASCAR Load Motorsports. Thank you.
All right, and our thanks to Gregory McDougall for a great interview and a great finish tonight. And now I think we've got some points we can look at here real quick. Let's look at the summer standings as we complete the penultimate round. Brian Yazik still on top. Nick Cohan, by result of his finish, still sitting there 25 points back. I don't know mathematically if he's got a chance. Maybe if Yazik doesn't show up, Nick's got a shot, but it's going to be tough to pick those up. 25 points back. You see that battle back there, George, separated from Ward, and Tommy Ryan just 9 points back of Jeff Ward, 83 points, 85, 2 points there separating Harden and Krahula. Tyler Dalton right up there on him. That's 6th to really 5th on back. None of that's really safe. Any of those positions could change going into next week. Yazik, though, all he needs is a good, consistent run to wrap that up. Let's look at the season, the overall season standings. After we leave Pocono this evening, you see Brian Yazik there, still your leader. Nick Cohan in 2nd. Tommy Ryan falls a little bit further back there to 3rd. Thomas George able to reel him in just a bit. Tyler Dalton, Ricky Harden are now knotted up. They were at 632 points each. The battle for 5th place is on. James Krahula, tough run for him tonight. Leaves him down there in 7th. Tim Johnston in 8th. Drew Carroll 9th. And Jeff Ward, continuing to try and climb the ladder, sits now in 10th overall. Jeff Ward, who got a late start on this season, has only, Jeff Ward's only run, he's run 19 races. So Jeff now up to 10th. And with the 4 wins, it's going to take more of them for him to get there. Right now, I believe James Krahula stepping in the booth. James, are all of these races calculated with the drops included right now?
They are all calculated with the drops.
Okay, for the overall season. Okay, so
Jeff, overall season and the summer season. The summer season has the 1 drop calculated, and all 4 drops are calculated in the season-long standings as well.
See, and that's why we pull James out of the closet every now and then, so he can fill us in on important details like that. Thank you, James. We appreciate that, buddy. Now, if you really like what you saw out of the Premier Racing League drivers tonight at Pocono, check back with us next Thursday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because the PRL Patriot Fire Cup Series will make a visit to the Glen in upstate New York, and we can't wait to get there. The official series are all running there. The Cup guys are going to be running there this weekend. The trucks for PRL will be there Sunday night. We won't be broadcasting it this Sunday. The Xfinity cars will be there on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we get to come back on the air with you there from the Glen here in the Monster Energy Cup cars. We would like to thank the drivers and the organizers of the Premier Racing League and James Carolla for coming in with us here for a second, for coming here tonight and putting on a tremendous show. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how you get a hold of them and more of their great work if you'd like. Thanks to the team today, Justin Prince, I'm Jed Yaman, the much sought after Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Please visit our glorious website. You won't be disappointed. Or you can check us out on social media, because we've got a presence there. Twitter at GSR Channel, or Facebook, type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll pull us right up. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen. Check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. And don't forget, right now, we've got the Lionheart Retro race going on. I know Brian Otis started from the pole. I have no idea where he's at. But if he started from the pole, that might be a good sign for him this evening. Get over there, check it out. He is leading the race. Go watch Ryan Otis over there dominate in the Lotus 79s. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.